Hey guys, what's up? It's munclesonkey, and this is my guide on how to cannon Dagannoths for epic and super AFK range XP. You can camp these for hours and hours and hours on end, provided that you have the right supply of cannonballs and red chinchompas to do so. So I'm just going to show you guys a really good setup that works pretty well here, and what you should be doing and what you should be using. So first of all, in my inventory I have a whole bunch of extreme rangings. You can switch these out for overloads, but overloads are not that much better and they are much more expensive. You of course need a cannon, you need cannonballs, preferably much more than this if you are planning on staying for a while. I'm just doing this for an example. You also need one of each charm in your inventory just so they don't get messed up. A charm collector is a must because these drop a lot of crimson charms. A bone crusher is also a must, and a demon horn necklace is a must. If you don't have these things, this method is not going to work very well, so I'd recommend to go get yourself those from Dungeoneering. I also have a tab out, just in case things go south in a hurry. And for my gear, I'm wearing Armadillo chestplate, Armadillo chain skirt. I would recommend Armadillo boots instead of Rage Fires. I would recommend Armadillo gloves instead of War Priest gauntlets, and I would recommend an Armadillo helm instead of a Slayer helmet, unless you're on a Slayer task, of course. And if you are on a Slayer task, this is a pretty good place to kill Dagannoths if you don't like doing Dagannoth Kings, but I would always recommend doing Dagannoth Kings. If you don't have a comp cape, wear a skill cape or one of the Ava devices. Of course, you need red chinchompas. Again, much more than this if you're planning on staying here for a while. Offhand chaotic crossbow, you can also use a offhand ascension crossbow with ascension bolts if you have that. And a 6-age circuit for your aura. It doesn't really matter all that much since you're going to be doing pretty well here even without an aura. And often when people camp Dagannoths, they like to stay for many hours, but you can also always bring a couple auras in your inventory, like vampirism or something like that, although you're going to be doing fine on prayer and food in this place with just this setup, so auras aren't entirely needed. So anyway, I'm just going to speed up showing you guys the route there and how to set up your cannon and kill them, and I'll also give you a rough estimate on how much XP per hour you can expect. Just keep in mind that I'm not in max DPS range gear, so my XP per hour will not be entirely accurate. Also, if you're on a Slayer task, it will be faster. So, from the Relica Gates, the route to Waterbirth Island, which is where you kill the Dagannoths, is a fairly easy one to take. Just go to the docks and the far western one. You want to travel to Waterbirth using the Jarvald guy. And then when you get there, you just want to run all the way around the little moon-shaped island till you enter the dungeon. The really annoying part about here, as you'll see, is there's always like a rock crab that attacks you. And so I just spam-clicked the dungeon several times, and I finally got in. That always really annoyed me, though, how that rock crab was there. But then you want to run to this more eastern area of the dungeon, right where there's a huge middle space and a million Dagannoths walking around. And the best thing to do is just stand right underneath your cannon. You want to be standing directly in the middle of your cannon because that means that Dagannoths can't stand directly in the middle of your cannon. And you can get effigies, fairly common here. I think you average about one every 2 or 3 hours, something like that. So you do not want the Dagannoth standing directly underneath your cannon because then you couldn't see the effigy. So you don't want that to happen. So that's why you want to be standing there. And this is also very good crimsons and ranging XP per hour. There are better methods of training range and better methods of getting charms, but none that are this AFK. So by my testing, this was 305k range XP per hour. It definitely could be more if you were wearing better armor and using overloads, so just keep that in mind. But unless you are max gear, you probably won't be getting much higher than that anyway, or max stats and everything, you probably won't be getting much higher than that anyway, so just keep that in mind. Also, the crimsons here are pretty good. I got 34 crimsons in 5 minutes, which means 408 crimsons per hour, so that's also a very good rate of charms as well if you're looking out for that. I know a lot of higher ranked players train here to get 200 mil summoning, they'll just AFK here all the way to 200 mil, which is pretty inefficient considering if you ever want to get 200 mil Slayer, that's a much more efficient way to train summoning, but I won't go too much into that. This is mostly just a guide for people that have plenty of money and just want a way to train range that is extremely easy. You can also train magic here, of course, which is actually a bit faster XP per hour just because the magic hits harder on the Dagannoths and more accurately. However, this is my range method, and I would always train range here because you definitely, if you want to be training magic, you want to be doing Slayer or killing Glaciors for that. You do not want to be cannoning. Cannon is what you say for range, and the cannon will give you range experience as well, so it all adds up. It's all very nice. So anyway, this is about all you do. The only drops you really have to look out for is effigies, and they also drop some of the Fremennik warrior helms, like berserker helms and archer helms, stuff like that. I'd recommend to pick them up just because they're like, I think they alch for about 45k a pop, so that's definitely worth it. Other than that, the Bone Crusher and Soul Split will keep you alive. The Bone Crusher crushes plenty of bones to keep your Soul Split on 100% of the time. I guess you could bring prayer pots if you wanted ranged turmoil here, but the entire point of this method is so you can stay for a very long time, and so prayer pots would be kind of counterproductive. So anyway, that's about all for this method. I'm wrapping up my testing here, so thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed, and stay tuned for future guides. Farewell.